Vanthourenhout, under-23 world champion in Tabor. Alongside him, Lars Van der Haar, looking a little bit ill, twice an under-23 world champion. Wout Van Aert, it's not been his season, but the world champion is here to defend his title. Laurens Sweeck, 6th last year, and he's had some podium finishes this season. Corne van Kessel, 5th last season, and alongside him, the man that everyone's looking at, the pre-race favourite, Mathieu van der Poel. All the preparation now is done. Alongside him is Toenaerts, another rider who's had some good performances this season. Quintin Herman's the next rider on the grid, bronze medalist in 2016 as an under-23 rider. Underway then, the 57 riders go blasting off the start line. Very fast start from Lars Van der Haar, who's always a good starter. Wout Van Aert right on his wheel, and Lars looking around to see where Mathieu van der Poel was as he saw Wout Van Aert was right on his wheel. Through the right-hander, Simon. A great start by Lars Van der Haar.
Yeah, good. We saw him start like that the last couple of seasons. He's like a little terrier off the start, all clean down here, no issues on the start, good to see. So this first half lap, let's see who ends up where. Looks like Laurens Sweeck maybe.
And that's going to put some riders under. In fact, he now has to get off, but not too much, as Van der Poel comes flying through the pack and gets onto the wheels of Lars Van der Haar and Wout Van Aert really, really early. That was a big move by Van der Poel. Problem there for our leading rider, Tim Merlier. And now Van der Poel is already starting to force the pace, and Wout Van Aert's got to try and go with him. The two Belgians desperately trying to stay on the wheel of Mathieu van der Poel, who is already trying to really turn the pressure on so that Wout can get into the wheels, and we know he starts a little bit slower and that he can stay with him.
Well, the Belgians typically always rode for themselves, and that all changed the year that Niels Albert won, and they actually did manage to ride as a team, and it paid off in Hoogerheide.
He's just kicking on the way Joris Nieuwenhuis's compatriot did in the under-23 race. This is such a fast opening lap here. A couple of problems for some riders as they hit the deck.
For the Belgians, it doesn't really make a difference if you're not number one. So 2nd to 6th, they'll still be disappointed. But right now, Van der Poel doesn't need teammates.
No, he's on his own. And he's just got to be patient here, hasn't he? He's just got to stay with him.
Well, yeah, that takes patience, but it also takes an awful lot of ability. If we see Van der Poel trying to do a fast first lap like Nieuwenhuis did in the under-23 men, just to try and kind of stamp his mark on the race.
It's definitely what he's trying to do. Michael Vanthourenhout is there. Wout is trying to ride areas of this course that some people think could make a huge difference.
Well, evidently he has. He was, again, Niels Albert, the team manager and the kind of the mentor of Wout Van Aert, decided last week he was going to practice or experiment with a mountain bike tread on a Dugast casing. So he got Mr. Dugast for 3 days, taking rubber off a regular 26-inch mountain bike tyre. And
really?
They had them measured for size by the UCI officials 2 days ago in training, and it was touch and go if they were going to pass. But I've just found out at the start today that Van der Poel's on a 30mm tyre, so whether he's preferred to go a regular Dugast with a narrow one. We talked about it this morning about in the old days it was more of a choice to go 30 or 32 or 34mm at the time.
Yeah.
It's a smart choice. 30mm makes absolute sense on a course like this.
Just even a few extra feet or extra meters.
And in an hour that's going to pay off. That's the amount of time you can stay on the bike.
Van der Poel has gone into the red a little bit early, and Van Aert looks strong, and he looks like he is good on the running section so far. But don't forget, Vanthourenhout is not that far behind these two riders, despite this really fast start. Two leaders, which is not a surprise, Van Aert and Van der Poel. as they cross the line. That was a 9:36 opening lap.
But the gap back, look at those gaps, 24 seconds back to Laurent Sweeck in fourth after a lap is significant.
Well, let's see what happens on this lap. Is Van der Poel just recovering and sitting there and letting Wout do the work, or is he under a little bit of pressure? Stephen Hyde, who had a fantastic start, try and put Van der Poel in under pressure to make some mistakes and just try and get a few seconds here and there if he can.
He's keeping the pressure on for sure, and you know, Michael Vanthourenhout in third, he's a bit in no man's land there. There's a chasing group behind him with the rest of the Belgians, and Laurent Sweeck's on his own now. Hasn't gone out on the first lap and lost time. So
as he went round that corner, he went into the post at the side. Van Aert is able to dictate things, so Van der Poel just falling over, not a major mistake.
Exactly where we saw Pidcock crash in the under-23 race, I think, the same.
He always produces a good ride in the World Championships. An attack now from Wout Van Aert.
Not really an attack, it was more of a bit of a stumble from Van der Poel.
Well,
again,
Wout seems...
how he closes these little gaps after a mistake or after a slip that...
No other rounds of the World Cup before that. It was Mathieu van der Poel all the way. He won in Iowa, in Waterloo, in Koksijde, in Bogensee and in Zolder.
Right now, it doesn't look comfortable running Van der Poel compared to Van Aert.
No,
this early part of the race, but...
And that's always been a good strength of his. And look at the speed of Wout Van Aert. Just got fast feet. As he makes his way up here, he just looks confident. He just looks like he really is totally in the zone. Took his gloves off, the bike was there. Van der Poel and Vanthourenhout next to each other.
Belgian teamwork, if there's going to be any or not. It's not a perfect opportunity now just to slot in front of Van der Poel and just slow it down a notch or two and let Wout extend his lead.
He's got a long, long way to go till the end of this race.
Two Narts there looking like he's in fourth place. We don't see anybody after the Vanthourenhout, Van der Poel battle. Maybe two Narts there in fourth. And then, you know, there's not much you can do about that if you're coming from behind, because all you can do is go over your limit to try and close the gap, and that's what you can't do on a course like this.
So in terms of you picking your way around this course, I mean, Wout Van Aert, until then...
Just there, that's the rut where I was just talking about. You watched this morning in the under-23 race.
We saw Evie Richards faint at the finish. Sanne Cant could hardly recover for minutes after the race. Just how damaged were you at the end?
Yeah, physically it's really, really tough, and I think that's what a World Championship course should be like. It should be the strongest rider. And I think as well there's different courses for different riders, and I think when you look traditionally over the World Championships, we haven't had one this hard in a really long time. And that means that everybody gets an opportunity, and in 2 years it will be sand. And in the elite men's you won't see much difference, but in the other categories I think you'll see different riders with it.
Well, that's good to know. In terms of tyre selection today, we've seen all sorts of things going on here. Simon and I have been talking about it. How hard was it for you to choose what you were going to ride? And then these riders have clearly been swapping things around, trying to get the right combinations of things to ride this race.
Yeah, for me it wasn't actually that hard. I just went straight to the Limas. It's a full mud tyre, and where you can ride you need that much grip, and you actually find Sana rode a Limas yesterday, but she's not sponsored by Challenge. She put them on because they were better than the tyre choices she had.
Right.
And so already 3 of the winners of the races have been on them on the same tyre. So as the race gets more and more running, you might change your selection, because there might be places where you don't need the traction, but you actually need, you don't necessarily need the grip, but you might want an easier tread for the road sections. But I think for these guys, it's kind of half and half, and so you go for the best tread that gives you the most grip.
Simon, noticed anything while Helen was in chatting as to what's going on here?
Not the race we were expecting, Vanthourenhout together again with Van der Poel, but the gap back to Van Aert, and you can see Vanthourenhout there just
shakes his
banging
head.
the back of his thigh. It looks like he's... I can't believe he'd be cramping up after 3 laps, but...
He has a problem. I mean, he's been riding, and he'll be the winner. Well, he's the favourite.
It's history, isn't it? I think it's always been the case of the Belgians and the Dutch in the media, whenever every generation of cyclocross has had a press that have really been in Flemish, but it's you get the idea. And you know, some of the social media now that the riders put out, you can get a feel for just what they're trying to achieve and just trying to take pressure off themselves.
The Japanese riders, and I must say hello to Daisuke and all the guys who are watching. Hikaru Kosaki and Yu Takenouchi are 54th and 55th at this moment in time. Glenn Kinning of Ireland, 56th. Wout Van Aert, who is now 33 minutes through this effort.
And right now, he's obviously in good shape. He looks great. He looks good on his bike. He looks very strong running. And opposite to that, Van der Poel is, you know, body language again, says it all. He just looks a little bit head down and messing with his skin suit zips and just not really on top of his game. And that's, we haven't seen this all season from him, really.
And looked up it, and it is, we're talking almost a wall. It's so steep to get up from that bottom.
Two Narts as well, coming back a little bit, I think, to the Van der Poel, Vanthourenhout pair. Just we saw him in the background on the last camera shot.
And Vanthourenhout now is ahead of Mathieu van der Poel, who's just trudging his way up this climb. Just so far is not his day. This course, he hasn't looked back since he went on the attack. It's a time trial as far as he's concerned. He's absolutely loving this course. A 9:38, so 6 seconds faster than the last lap. The medals are with the top 4 riders right now.
You know, that's unusual. We don't see that so much now, and it's just, again, thinking about all the small things that could give you an advantage.
Yeah.
And yeah, if he's done something that's making a difference, then absolutely fair play to him, because it's a rider. Some riders will just kind of wake up in the morning and go for a quick run. I was at the World Cup race in America earlier in the season. Go out, oof.
That was a big crash.
That one's going to sting. Yeah, just hit the barrier with his right arm.
This is the thing, he's got to keep concentrated.
Yeah, so some riders will do that. Some riders won't run at all, just as a general run. They won't go out for a 20-minute, 30-minute run. They'll just run in their cyclo-cross training. So they'll do a short circuit on a cross that's got maybe a run-up or some running sections or hurdles, and they'll just get their running from that. And some riders like to run in training. They enjoy it, and some riders absolutely hate it. So
it's making a difference, every little thing that these riders... Well, the Belgians with their coaches and with their new head coach are dominating this race, and if Mathieu van der Poel's not careful, as the snow falls, the sleet falls outside, he's going to get caught by two Narts.
So in control, so strong, so focused.
Into the pits, Michael Vanthourenhout. And Wout Van Aert in a proper individual time trial crosses the line. That's what you see everywhere. They're being sold.
The big bobble hat company.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mathieu van der Poel crosses the line. 2 minutes and 13 seconds down on this man.
Pull riders out when they are that time behind the leader, and they'll be removed from the race.
From about halfway round, lap number 1, those shoulders have hunched over, and he has been under terrible pressure.
Belgium podium.
He's only 13 behind, isn't he? Two Narts back onto the bike. He was second in Namur. He was third in Zeven. He was third in Bogensee. So he's had a few podium finishes this season. And as he crosses the line, he'll get the bell this time. He's on an absolutely flying...
I think Two Narts is going to get third here.
It looks that way.
Him, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting last lap. We could be seeing a Belgian clean sweep on the podium.
He looked so good at the start, that explosive start. He went He was lying about 10th place, and then suddenly he just accelerated. Van der Poel on another one of those days where he's just going to ride away, but Wout managed to go with him. Maybe just get the medal if he decides that that's what he wants to do. Taking a look at these two riders then. Who's going to get the bronze medal? 23 years of age. 23 years of age is this man, Wout Van Aert, going for the silver medal, and Van der Poel still interested in trying to get on the podium by the looks of things. Get the bronze medal. Wout Van Aert splashing his way through those puddles for the last time. But it hasn't been, as he attacks now Wout Van Aert. He's clearly decided, I have to get something out of this. And I think it's probably the fact he's here in front of his home crowd that he just wants to say, okay, I didn't have a good day, but I still got on the podium and I still got a medal. His adversary, the man who makes his life difficult. But all year, pretty much, Mathieu van der Poel has made this man have to go away and think and work out and worry about whether he can beat him. Van der Poel having not as bad a day, but he's having one of those days that he doesn't want to remember. But perhaps if he can just get the silver, what a way to go out and win a world title and basically destroy all your rivals, put them 2 minutes behind you on the most brutal course of the World Championships we have seen for many, many years.
He's mastered it, and it's showing with a 2-minute beating of somebody that probably hasn't been beaten by 2 minutes ever.
A wonderful display, a victorious display, an awesome display by Wout Van Aert. This man has just got to freewheel round the final corner. Then he can celebrate. He can take it all in because, ladies and gentlemen, the hat-trick of victories in the World Championship has just happened. Wout Van Aert, the Belgian rider, has dominated this World Championship. It's number 3. He wins for Belgium. Wout Van Aert, world champion. Wow, what a race.
Yeah, that was some ride. Some ride. That is a cyclo-cross ride at the top of their game on one of the hardest courses we've probably seen for 20 years.
That was something very, very special. We're going to see an emotional Wout Van Aert, there's no doubt. So impressive. He greets his girlfriend. But onto the steps for Michael Vanthourenhout to make it a 1-2 for Belgium. He's okay. The legs have held up. Van der Poel reaches him now to get the bronze medal. He's not going to quite make it. A bit of a resurgence by Van der Poel. Vanthourenhout looks around. He's got some distance. Now it's a freewheel into the finish. Make no mistake on the right-hander. Michael Vanthourenhout of Belgium is going to make it a magnificent day for the Belgian fans. It's a 1-2. He can't believe it. The dream of getting on the podium in the Elite World Championships is there. Michael Vanthourenhout takes 2nd place. That's his world title as far as he's concerned. 2nd place. Absolutely ecstatic. 3rd place for the man who's dominated the 2017 and 18 season. Just not the day for Mathieu van der Poel. He has to go away and try and come back again next year.
And that face says it all, doesn't it?
Wout Van Aert, 3 minutes and, 15 seconds down for 4th place.
This is going to be a long day out for the ones that don't quite get lapped or don't quite get pulled on the 80% here, but...
Lars van der Haar, 4th last year, 5th this year, and he'll go away now and get ready for the next season. We're now at 4 minutes and 29 seconds. The Italian, Gioli Bertolini, 6th place for him. He's very happy with 6th place. But this was the moment when these two riders started to go side by side, and Van Aert just worked his way past Van der Poel.
But just there, even the difference in body language between the two of them running there, Van Aert just looks stronger, solid, in control, not sliding, foot placement perfect. He did that for 7 consistent laps as well. He just looked in a different league today.
Very impressive indeed. Look at the way he's going around these corners. He's just gliding. And he was able to ride more of the course.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting just to get the full tech details about what he was using tyre-wise, because, again, everybody loves the tyre story. And last year, it was part of the reason why he was successful. So it'll be interesting if it's happened again.
All smiles. Wout Van Aert. We'll hear from him. Here he is.
Wout, congratulations. What a strong performance today. You were so dominant. Maybe fans were expecting a bit more of a showdown with you and the other contenders, obviously, Mathieu.
Yeah, of course. I expected a big battle. In the second lap, I felt strong. In the beginning, it was a big challenge to follow Mathieu. I knew that before the race, that would be the most difficult part for me of the race, follow him in his first lap. And after that, I knew I had a chance, and I searched my pace in the second lap, and immediately I got a nice gap. And afterwards, I was in a rhythm I could hold on for the rest of the race. So I didn't expect this. I think it was one of the best days in my life on the bike. So the running went so good. Yeah, can't believe it that the race went like this. I expected a big battle, but this was nice, of course.
You were constantly increasing the gap lap after lap. How did you do that?
I am type of rider when I'm alone in the front, and I got mentally everything on a good order. I can go over my limit for 1 hour, and again that happened. So it's a world championship. I don't want to take risks to slow down the pace. I just gave everything until I was on the bridge the last lap, and afterwards I was completely dead.
What happened exactly at the 5th round? You crashed at some point. Did you lose your focus at this point?
Yeah, I made a mistake on the lowest part of the course, and afterwards I was a little bit out of my rhythm for half a lap. It was difficult because I knew it was still more than two laps, so still more than 20 minutes of the race. But then I tried to focus again, and I came back in a good pace. So I think on this course it was impossible to stay without mistakes. So also for me it happened.
Crossing a line, you raise your hand and you shot 3 with your fingers. Is this treble meaning something very, very big for you?
Yeah, of course, it's the 3rd consecutive world title for me. I think it's pretty historical to do that in cyclocross. The names who did that before me were icons of this sport. So it means a lot to come in this select group of people. And I worked really hard for this, and now it's time to enjoy it.
Belgium is getting out of here with 3 titles out of 5. Definitely a strong, very strong year, and very strong championships for Belgium.
Yeah, it's incredible for Team Belgium. Our national coach made a really good team for this championship. We were laughing the days before, and the atmosphere was really good in the group. And it made me really relax. I was without stress this morning, and I have to thank the guys for that. I think it shows Belgium is still one of the biggest countries in CX, and I'm happy that I could finish it off for my country and my team.
You're definitely a great champion. Thank you very much, Wout. Thank you.
Some surprises, the Tom Pidcock, the Mathieu van der Poel. So I think right now the sport is in a good place. I think the announcement this weekend of a junior women's category in 2020 in Switzerland is massively encouraging, and I think that's just going to continue to grow. So it's been a positive weekend, and I think we've seen some great racing in some very, very difficult and challenging conditions.
Felipe Orts of Spain was 20th. Simon Zahner of Switzerland 21st. Lars Forster of Switzerland 19th, and Marcel Wildauber 16th place. Heading now to the podium presentation. The interesting question will be Mathieu van der Poel, and finding out afterwards just what happened today. Just maybe one of those days. But this is the presentation of the 2018 UCI World Cyclocross Championships. The elite men, the final race of the weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, in third place, the winner of the bronze medal representing the Netherlands. Op de derde plaats, winnaar van de bronzen medaille namens Nederland. Een geweldig applaus voor Mathieu van der Poel.
Mathieu van der Poel, bronze medal. I'm a very disappointed man again. But we've admired the way he's ridden all season. He truly has been an exceptional rider. He just has to take it in again, unfortunately, as bronze medalist. But he's given us a lot of pleasure this season watching the way he's raced. I think this guy is the happiest guy of the weekend. Silver medal. This means so much to him, you can just see it.
Vertegenwoordigt België en applaus voor Wout van Aert.
World champion for the third time running, Wout Van Aert. He takes the rainbow bands back. Wout Van Aert, the winning margin, 2 minutes and 13 seconds on his teammate Michael Vanthourenhout, and 2 minutes 30 on Mathieu van der Poel. Wout Van Aert, now 3 times world champion. There's our podium: Van Aert, Vanthourenhout, Van der Poel.
gaat nu de champagne omkurken, de nieuwe wereldkampioen. En ook Mathieu van der Poel.
Michael Vanthourenhout has to get the gloves off to get this one.
Nogmaals een geweldig applaus voor de nieuwe wereldkampioen 2018 voor Wout van Aert.
Well, certainly Van der Poel and Van Aert have given us thrilling racing all season. They have raced each other incredibly hard. They have dominated the